Hi there. Welcome to the Hardy Realty Show. This is Rome Business Radio, and we are broadcasting from the Hardy Realty Studios on Broad Street in downtown Rome, Georgia. I'm Roger Manus with Rome Business Radio, and we work in cooperation with the Rome News Tribune. And our Hardy Realty representative on this month's broadcast is Ann Smith. Hello, Ann. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm just hunky-dory, as we say down south. How are things at Hardy?
They're good. Very busy.
Yeah, still?
Yes.
Like the real estate market's been going for 3 years or whatever, blowing and going still. And what is your role there?
So I'm the property manager over residential, commercial, retail, industrial, everything.
Okay, which brings us to our guest here is Makayla Little with Blue Willow Boutique. Hi, Makayla. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for being here. So, Makayla, where is Blue Willow Boutique located?
It's located at 9 East 3rd Avenue.
And Hardy is your landlord.
Yes. Correct.
That's the relationship here. So when you need something done, does the landlord jump right on it?
Oh, yes. They always make sure I'm taken care of.
Yeah, you're nodding, Ann. This is a podcast. People have
Yes.
to... Okay, well, tell us a little bit about Blue Willow Boutique. What do you do there?
Well, I try and provide clothing for women of all ages and sizes, so I try and make sure that they're dressed very nice, appropriate, try and do a little more of a conservative approach, I guess. I mean, I have a lot of teachers, there's a lot of business women, and then there's a lot of younger people too, so I have a lot of different clients and everything.
All right, speaking of younger people, I ask you, how old are you?
I'm 24 years old.
Okay, and when did you start the business?
I started it online in October of 21, so I actually opened the doors of the business in June of 22.
Okay, so to me, that's very young to start a business.
Yes,
so
sir.
Talk about this entrepreneurial spirit. What brought this on? Where did this come from?
Well, my mom and my aunt, they actually own a prom and pageant store, so it's called Glitz and Glamour, but I started working at their store when I was in middle school, so I just kind of got into the vibe of helping people, helping customers, help them find the perfect dress. So then as I went on, I started working in retail, and then I was like, you know what? I think it'd be kind of fun to help everybody and like own my own business. Well, I started at a law firm, and I was a receptionist, but then I just kind of graduated college, and I felt lost. I was like, what am I supposed to do? And I was like, wait, everybody's always told me they love my outfits, they love how I dress. So I was like, you know what? Why don't I try and do my own boutique?
Okay, so how did you and Hardy get together? You were just looking for, take me through okay, I've got to start a business. I've got this idea. I want to fill a need. I need a space.
Yes.
So did you reach out to Hardy? How did this happen?
So my very close friend, Shelly Womack, she is the one that helps me do a lot of my business. Like, she helps me with my business plans and all that good stuff. But she had her eye on this place on East 3rd, and she was like, wait, we need to get in touch with Hardy, because I think this would be the perfect opening space for you. So that's how we got started with Hardy and everything.
Okay, so Ann, take us through that process from your perspective. You get cold calls a lot, or or do they say, I'm looking for this, I need this square footage, and then you help maybe find them a spot?
Typically, they have a very good idea of exactly what they're looking for, where they want to be, and then it's a matter of, do we have what they're looking for? And so, we were very excited about Makayla, and we just thought that is like the perfect spot for her. And we were just very excited to have her lease that space.
So is it more about their vision of location, or is it square footage? What tends to be the most important thing? I guess it depends on the business.
Yeah, I think usually for the business, it's location based on what they do. And that was just the ideal location for her. And we happened to have this space, so it was a great fit.
Well, plus the product itself. So it's women's clothing.
Yes.
And you mentioned all professions and kind of all age groups. What is that? Just something you've always been into as you were growing up? Just
like clothing and everything?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, it sounds crazy, I know, but I was actually voted like best dressed in high school. So like I always tried to make sure that I looked nice and presentable. And funny story is, when me and my mom, we always like to go and just gallivant around town and everything. And we used to go to like
Well, to gallivant requires being well dressed.
Exactly. She would be like, you need to look presentable because you never know when you'll find your future husband. So,
okay.
Yeah, so I always tried to make sure I would look nice and presentable. And so I've always tried to look my best.
And you said something about Fred's when you were gallivanting?
Yes. It could be somewhere just as simple as Fred's. It could have just been Walmart, anywhere. You never know.
You just want to look your best at all times.
Exactly.
So you help others look their best at all times.
Yes, sir.
So, okay, as an entrepreneur starting a business, okay, you've got your space, but what were some of the headaches coming at you that you did not anticipate? You got this great idea. I want to help, sell clothes, and people like what I do, but I've got to pay taxes.
Yes.
Oh, there's a power bill there. So what kind of came at you that you weren't expecting? You said you had some help with your business plan, but what are some other things maybe that for the young person out there wanting to start their own business, what can you teach them from your learning experience?
Money is definitely a big thing because, whenever it goes from season to season, you kind of have to put in a ton of money to make sure you have a big product and a lot of different things to choose from. So I just try and make sure that I have enough money saved up and I have all of it spread out where I need to.
So that's a big concern.
Yes.
Every month. So how did you get started with your cash flow? How did you keep track of it? Are we borrowing money? Did you?
I have had to. I started out with a good bit of money whenever I first started the business. Yeah. And then of course I've invested it, putting in new product. And then luckily, especially right now, because I just put out my new spring things, I have sold the pieces. I've already sold out of many different spring items. So luckily that is a big cash flow that's coming in right now.
So that was another thing you had to do. Did you already have pre-existing relationships with suppliers? How did you, from your family's business, you said there'd been some prom stuff, but how did you literally started from scratch, didn't you?
Oh, yes, I did. I kind of shopping around at different boutiques and everything, because I've always shopped at boutiques pretty much, not my whole life, but for a really long time. I used to kind of look out at different brands that I would like through them. But it's not like I was copying them. I was like, I really like these brands. So then I would go, I go to the Mart in Atlanta mostly, and that's where I establish a lot of different brands and vendors and everything. So that's where I pretty much learned them.
How much would you say is percentage is you doing what you want to do, buying and selling clothes, and how much of the percentage of your time is running the business? Is it 50-50? Is it 80-20? On a daily basis?
I get to do a lot of whatever I want to. I guess kind of 50-50, I would say.
Yeah.
Because, when I don't have customers, I can play on my phone, do whatever I want to, plan ahead and look around for different items on my iPad or whatever. So I would say it's pretty 50-50.
What? And you were born and raised here?
Yes, sir.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Armuchee High School.
Okay. And then you said you went to college?
Yes.
And where'd you go to school and what'd you major in?
Shorter University. And I officially graduated with a general business degree with a management minor. But I did not start out that way. I started out going the medical route. I started out biology, and then I went to sports management, then nursing, and then general business.
Lots of people are trying to find themselves in college.
Okay.
So you got the business background there, and you combined that with your natural love of clothing.
Yes.
And started this business. Did you sense there was a need for what you wanted to provide in Rome? Because sometimes business people, they say, I want to fill a need. And
I would say that I did need to there was a need to fill a need in everything in Rome. There was a boutique here, and they kind of did the real frilly, bright, colorful, fun things. And so I was like, you know what? We don't really have that. Once they moved off, I was like, that we don't have that anymore. So I felt the need to provide those kind of things, but of course add my own touch to it. So I would say yes, I did.
So and what is the process like from your perspective when somebody does come in and they're looking for space? Filling out forms and credit checks? What all goes into it for somebody that else may be interested?
So typically, we'll show them the space. If there's more than one space they're interested in, we show them the different spaces. And then once they decide this is the one I want, they would then apply and go through the approval process. So, they go through their credit checks and all that good stuff. And once all that checks out, then we go through negotiating the lease terms based on what they're looking for and what they're asking the owner for and what the owner will do and all that good stuff. So we negotiate all the details, put the lease together, get it signed, and get them in there.
So what's the square footage of your place? Do we know off the top of our heads? Do you remember?
It's 500 square feet, maybe.
Yeah.
It's real small, but it's been very nice and quaint.
Well, I was going to say that's why it's called a boutique. So as you started online,
yes.
Okay, and what was the reasoning behind that? Just to kind of get the thing going?
Yes, just to kind of introduce my business and see how it would go, and then I would after opening or doing it online and everything, I started doing like little pop-up shops and small events and stuff like that. So
you kind of get a little traction. You find a spot. So how is the foot traffic? How's it going now?
Oh, it's been great, especially like I said, the spring items. Since adding them, business has been booming.
Good. That's good news. So, what are your normal hours?
Tuesday through Saturday. So Tuesday through Friday, it's 10:30 to 6, and then Saturday's 10:30 to 4.
And this is you 99% of the time. Do you ever have to bring in help?
The only time that I've had to bring in help was during Black Friday. I had family and friends and everything come and help, but no, it really is me every single day. And
like when you start a business these days, how do you get the word out? Do you advertise? You do a podcast like this, of course. That's one way to get the word out. But is it word of mouth? Is it how do you let people know you're in business?
Definitely word of mouth. Social media has been a big help, and my mom, I kind of dubbed her as my marketing director sometimes, because like when I first was,
I'm guessing it's an unpaid position.
Oh yeah, for sure. I would get her. I get nervous and everything around people, so like I don't want to hand out my own business card. So she would be like, "Here, come see my daughter's boutique, Blue Willow Boutique," and I'm like, "Thanks, Mom."
You can't get nervous around people if you need to sell them stuff.
Exactly, but I don't want to just walk up to somebody random and be like, "Oh gosh, I don't know what they're going to think about me." I just get nervous, so she just goes up and does it, and they're like, "Oh, this looks fun." So,
but also you're really good with social media too.
Oh yes,
she always is posting things, and she does live unboxing videos. So then you see this stuff, and you're like, I have to go in there because that was really cute. So you do a great job with social media.
Thank you.
Wait, I live unbox. So when inventory arrives, you do a live thing.
Yes,
and show people, come to the store. This is here right now.
Luckily, I know everything that's in there because obviously I bought it, but I get the invoices and I go ahead and put the inventory on like my website. But then, of course, I keep it private so that they can't see it. So then once I do the unboxing, I kind of forget what's in each box, though. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I did add this. So, yeah, that's pretty much.
Well, and you are of the age, I know I'm sounding old here, but you were of the age where you grew up with social media. It was just always there. You probably don't remember a time before it much.
I do a little. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I do. I don't know, at my age and everything. I mean, I was born in 1998, so.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, I remember being younger, playing, like, on the computer and it being really slow. And, like, in school, they would roll in the big TV on the cart and stuff. But, I mean, yeah, I remember a little bit before, but,
I got news for you. Before computers, there were these things called typewriters.
Hey, I actually do know how to use a typewriter. I had to use one when I worked at the law firm.
Oh, okay. So you do remember some old stuff like typewriters. Yeah. But social media, I guess to the point of my question, social media is just a part of your generation and who you are. Sure. You grew up with it. So obviously very comfortable with it. But what are some of your strategies? This live unboxing thing is interesting, but what else do you do? Do you TikTok dance? Do you tweet? Do you Instagram, Snapchat? What do you do?
Okay, so I do I do. That's funny. Okay, I do TikTok sometimes so that, like, if I get something new in, like the other day, I had several different colors of a dress. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a TikTok and show all the different colors. And I have before done like a little bit of the transitions and everything, which, I mean, even though I am young, I feel like I'm old on TikTok. So, like, I don't know how to do everything. So I try and do some cute things that people will like. But I do. So I am on TikTok. I do Facebook and Instagram. Facebook and Instagram are my most popular ones that I use those daily. But I don't know. I just try and do things that'll attract people, and I try and show myself a lot. That way that I can try and model some things so that they see what it looks like on.
Well, and I would imagine you get a lot of repeat business.
Yes.
People, so that's a bread and butter for you.
Oh, yeah.
They get very happy. As an entrepreneur who has started your own business, when you're walking around town, you're walking down Broad Street, and you see somebody wearing something that you have sold them, what does that mean to you?
It makes me excited. I'm like, ooh, I like your outfit. And they're like, hey, I got it from your store.
But you recognize it when you know when you tell them that you like their outfit.
Oh, yes. I know. I see customers all the time, and I'm like, oh, I'm trying to learn everybody's names and everything. But it's hard, of course, because it has been such a boom of new people. But I'm like, oh, it's so awesome to like see things around town and be like, hey, that's mine. I did that. So it's really fun.
What do you want to, just kind of keep doing what you're doing? Do you have growth plans? Do you want to open other boutiques? What's your big range goal here? Or is it right now just enjoying it for what it is?
I definitely want to find a bigger space, because while I have loved my little 9 East 3rd Avenue, it is getting small because I need more storage, and there's room for new opportunities and more things. Like, I want to eventually carry children's, potentially men's clothing. So I want to grow more. It's the timing's got to be right.
Right. Well, when you do grow more, Anne.
We've already been helping her.
Yes.
Look for other space.
So you've already been helping.
Yes.
So the timing is about a cash flow thing, and that's just running a business, right?
Yes. And of course, finding the perfect spot, because I don't want anything too small, too big. So just the right place.
Right. Okay. Well, but that's a good sign of growth. That's the next step.
Yes.
So I'm just curious, how did you choose the name? Blue Willow Boutique.
My mom actually came up with it. I mean, my family is very involved with my business.
You're unpaid marketing person.
Yes. So she, I kind of went on some apps and everything and websites that were like boutique name generators. And I knew I kind of wanted to do.
There's a boutique name generator.
I mean, not necessarily a boutique name, but it's just like a name generator and everything. Yeah. So I knew I wanted a color. The first option, or the first thing I came up with, was the pink. It was the pink something. I don't remember what it was. But then my mom was like, there's this store in Gadsden. It's called the Willow Tree. And Mom was like, what about Blue Willow? And I was like, you know what? That does sound nice. So it just kind of stuck.
So just kind of brainstorming, and you came up with a name.
Yes.
So, like, what are some of the again, I'm fascinated by you being so as young as you are and starting your own business, especially in retail, but you had retail experience.
Yes.
Maybe what are some of the things you weren't expecting, the kind of the good and the bad of running your own business?
Definitely how some of the I mean, I haven't had bad customers, but I had one the other day that caught me off guard. She was telling me pretty much how to run my business, even though she said she's never had any entrepreneur experience or anything, and that just kind of threw me off. But
everybody's an expert, right?
Oh, yes, of course. And I mean, the customer in air quotes is always right. So I was like, oh gosh, I don't know what to say to this lady.
Thank you. Come again.
Yes, exactly. And it was her first time ever coming in too. So I was like, wow, that's very bold. I'm trying to think. I guess really like trying to manage your money and all that good stuff. That was definitely something that I had to overcome, which of course Shelly has definitely helped me work all that out. She's also my unpaid employee behind the scenes.
No wonder you're so successful. You got all these people working for you, and nobody's getting paid.
Exactly.
But there's just the taxes and things like that, and the government red tape. That's just a hassle.
Yes, it is.
But it's a necessary thing that's got to be done.
Yes.
But so you're okay with that. But I mean, it's just like everything from insurance to you just got to worry about everything as the business
yes.
owner, because the buck literally stops with you.
Yes.
So what advice would you give somebody that's wanting to start their own business?
Definitely don't be afraid to ask for help, because I'm always asking, since family owns another business, I ask them questions all the time. I get their help. So, and never give up. That's what I've always said. If you truly have a dream to want to own your own business or do something like that, don't ever give up. And definitely trust in God, because he's definitely been a big part in my business. Because at first I didn't know, should I really do this? And then I had my church, Legacy Church, I had them to pray for me. And then that's when my business flourished and officially got to open.
Oh, that's a good sign.
Yes.
At your age, do any former classmates kind of walk in from high school
yes.
or college? And do,
I know, it's funny to see, because I'm like, whoa, you're actually coming to my business, which, of course, some of my friends that I had in college, they don't live here, but I've definitely had people travel to come see me or make a point to come see me if they're coming from out of town.
That's great.
Yes.
That's interesting. But what about the ones who maybe happen to stumble in that don't know you own this business, and they, oh my gosh, we went to high school together.
Yes.
And wait, you own this place?
I definitely had a former teacher yesterday come in. She said, wait, I didn't know this is where your store was. I didn't know this was you. And I was like, yep, this is me.
Oh, good. That's got to warm your heart.
Yes.
A little bit. Okay. Well, let's do some final thoughts here in contact information. First and foremost, your street address or your social media or your web page. How can people? Do you still do online business, or is it?
Yes, I do, and that's actually been booming as well. I have people from, of course, Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia. I've had Texas, maybe Oklahoma or Ohio. It's been stretching very far, and I think I've had New Mexico. It's growing, definitely.
So you place your products on your website, and they order and purchase online, and you ship it.
Yep.
Wow. So anybody listening to this podcast anywhere in the world. Yes. So what is the web address?
It is shopbluewillowboutique.com.
Shopbluewillowboutique.com. And the street address?
9 East 3rd Avenue.
Currently. But as you grow, that may change, right, Ann?
Yes.
You might find a bigger space. And your social media?
I believe, I know this is bad, but I think my Instagram is at the.bluewillowboutique, and it's pretty much the same thing on Facebook. So okay. Blue Willow Boutique.
Okay. And Ann, any final thoughts from you or contact information for you guys at Hardy?
So hardyrealty.com. We have all of our agents there. We can help you buy a house. We can help you rent space.
We help you sell a house.
We can help you manage your property.
Yeah. So, and beyond that, so not only help you manage the property as people start a business, but help them continue to grow in their business.
That is right.
Right?
Yes.
Because you're already talking to them about a next step. Well, good for you. Congratulations on your success.
Thank you.
Continued good luck to you. I love the entrepreneurial spirit and people starting businesses and things like that. So thank both of you for being here. Any final comments?
Thank you for
Blue Willow
us.
Boutique.
Great. Thank y'all. You've been listening to the Hardy Realty Show here on Rome Business Radio. I'm Roger Manus. We broadcast from the Hardy Realty Studios on Broad Street in downtown Rome, Georgia, and we work in cooperation with the Rome News Tribune. Thank you so much for listening.